Moving on, the Gambia Revenue Authority GRA has hailed the transformative impact of digitalization and political backing in strengthening revenue collection, with Commissioner General Yankuba Darboe announcing that the institution mobilized a record $25 billion in revenue last year. More in this report by Omar Joe.
The Gambia Revenue Authority GRA has marked a historical milestone in national revenue collection, announcing that it mobilized about $25 billion in 2025, a record achievement credited to sweeping digital reform and political backing. Commissioner General Yankuba Darboe, speaking at the authority's headquarters in Banjul, underscores that the success of GRA's modernization drive rests not only on technology and staff capacity, but also on the unwavering support of President Barrow's administration, which has enabled reforms to flourish and revenue leakages to be curtailed. He praised President Adama Barrow for constantly backing the authority's modernization agenda, noting that such support has been pivotal in closing loopholes, enhancing compliance, and boosting national revenue. The Commissioner General highlighted that GRA's success is largely driven by its digital transformation program, which has automated tax processes, reduced human error, and curtailed revenue leakages by introducing electronic filing, online payment system, and integrated data platforms. The authority has significantly improved efficiently and transparency in tax collection. Darboe explained that prior to these reforms, revenue leakages posed a major challenge to national development. However, with digital systems now in place, loopholes have been sealed, compliance has improved, and taxpayers find it easier to fulfill their obligations.
If I may take you a little bit back in history, around 2016, thereabout, the annual revenue target of the Gambia Revenue Authority, or if you call it monthly, if I take it monthly, on average, it's not more than 500 million to 600 million. If you take it on average for the year, it should be between, 500 to 600 billion. 5 to 6 billion per year. 5 to 6 billion. That is what we used to collect. But with the support we have from our partners and the reforms that we have undergone over the years, we have revolutionized the collections of revenue in this country. Today, as we speak, last year, 2025, we've collected over $25.3 billion for the country.
Commissioner General Darboe underscored that the ultimate vision of every revenue authority leadership is to build a nation that thrives on self-reliance. He explained that meaningful development can only be achieved when government mobilize and utilize domestic revenue to fund their priorities, rather than depending on external donors or grants. According to him, GRA's reforms are designed to ensure that the Gambia generates and manages its own resources, empowering the state to drive infrastructure, social services, and economic growth from within.
All over Africa, the vision of the Commissioner Generals are, one, to make sure that we have self-reliance. Self-reliance in the sense that if we want to get meaningful development, what we do is to make sure that we collect the domestic revenue and help our governments to utilize it for any other developments that they want to do. We can no longer rely on donors or grants from outside. I think this we have demonstrated that.
While acknowledging the professionalism and capacity of GRA staff, Darboe stressed that technical experts alone cannot guarantee the reform success without political will. He argued that reforms require not only trained personnel, but also the enabling environment provided by government support.
That the success of Gambia Revenue Authority is not the staffs alone, but we have the political support. And that political support should not be taken for granted, because whatever reforms that we have in this country, reforms are painful. When you bring a reform on a particular sector, what it does is it reduces the leakages. that are there and block everything, and then the revenue will come for the government. Those that we are benefiting from that, before that reform, will resist. And to get that across, you must have political support. And that's something that we have in the Gambia. In all our reforms, the first champion of our reforms will be His Excellency the President, his cabinet, and the entire government.
The record-breaking 25 billion revenue collection underscored the authorities' role as a cornerstone of national development. With stronger system in place, GRA is positioned to continue driving fiscal stability, funding public services, and supporting the Gambia's economic growth agenda. Darboe reaffirmed GRA's commitment to sustaining reforms, deepening digitalization, and maintaining transparency in revenue administration, while recognizing that continued political support remains the bedrock of these achievements.
To be successful as a revenue authority, you must have the political support. And what makes you to have the political support is to explain yourself properly when you are engaged on something which is considered as reform. You must explain to your principals properly the reform that you are going to bring, you intend to bring, and what that reform is going to bring in at the end of the day. Once that explanation is done properly, you get their buy-in. And once they support you, you can go through without any problem. So this is the secret behind the success of Gambia Revenue Authority. We have the political support in the reforms that we are doing, and that makes life easier for us.
As the Gambia Revenue Authority celebrates its landmark achievement, Commissioner General Darboe's message is clear. Reform thrives where political will and institutional commitment intersect. With digitalization, sealing revenue leakages, and political support paving the way for the implementation, GRA has set a new benchmark in fiscal governance. The authority's record 25 billion collection not only reflects efficiency, but also signals a future where sustained reforms can continue to strengthen national development and economic resilience. For Star TV, this is Omar Job.